Wow, it's been 10 years since I started this.
Hey! Get the fuck out of my apartment!
Today I'll be reviewing 2 handheld posts of racing games that I covered in the past.
Yeah, you better run! No one wants to see that filthy beer on my face!
Oh great, we're back to the second era for a while. Shame it isn't Underground 2. Here's me trying to save some money for a capturing device. We're like a Big Mac menu and fuck, I've done it again, didn't I? Here's the GBA port of Need for Speed Underground by Pocketeers, and let me tell ya, even if it's a graphical model for the system, it's mediocre. The first thing you see is that the game is in fully 3D. They could go for the GT Advanced route all they want with sprites in mode 7, but they're like, nah, we're better than that, we're not cash grab developers, and just push the system to the limits. Yeah, it's as simple as heck, and the frame is a bit choppy, but still, it's amazing how small name developers can do it on the pirate hardware. Oh man, not even the poor GBA can escape from Little John and the East Side boys. Let's see what cost it has, and if this game doesn't have the Dodge Neon, I'll eat my own shoe. I'm a woman of my word. On to the gameplay, and wow, I don't remember the game's handling being so heavy. It is to be expected for a GBA game of this caliber, but goddamn, I'm unused to D-pad steering in a 3D game. It's pretty simple otherwise, but I see the nitrous meter and I'm wondering what button did I add for it. It can't possibly be the select button, that would be stupid. I don't want to cramp my hands. It could be up or down since it's easier, but as it turns out, if you're racing with an auto transmission, you use the L button. If you're in manual, well, that depends. There's 2 versions of manual. Basic is just using the L and R to change gears, while for nitrous you hold in and up. And advanced, where you must release the gas to change gears, while for nitrous you hold A and L. Great, as if 3D graphics wasn't enough, they also added realism to the mix. I mean fuck, the heavy steering was enough, no need to add more complications. It's optional, so auto all the way. There's only 4 modes to play, no practice or knockout, thank god. Circuit, sprint, drag, and drift. Although it's less drifting and more, get as much tire screeching as possible. It is mostly like its console counterparts. Even the shaky cam and drag resistance is here. Now you can get motion sickness on your Game Boy. Fun. God, these track races take longer than the sprint races. This 1-point race takes almost 30 seconds to race, and that's just absurd. Let's begin our career, and you can already see the differences from the big boys, besides the elephant in the room. The career mode is structured differently. Instead of a somewhat linear career, it's divided into rankings, and to progress, you get to select a racer that's ahead of you in the rankings. Sometimes you will get challenged by a racer, and you set up the opponents, laps, and choose a track. While you get to earn more cash in the harder difficulties of the console versions, here there's no difficulty settings on the race, and there's also an entry fee. Odd. And you can't paint your castle to start? I have to win 60 races to unlock it? Really? What's even the point of this? As you progress through the game, you unlock parts, except performance parts are in single races rather than tournaments. In fact, there aren't any. As for customization, it's also good, if not as good as the console counterparts. It's simplified and you can't add spoilers in your car, but you still have freedom to customize the look of it, from bumpers, rims, hoods, roof scoops, and all that stuff. But still, most of the stuff I liked at the beginning, including paint, one of the most basic customization parts of the game. That good shit is locked at the start! Why do I have to win 60 races to unlock it? There's no sell point system as well, so for vinyls, you have to win races to unlock them. God, this game is just a grind. For presentation, it's a mixed bag. Even for a 3D GBA game, it can look blurry and confusing at times. Not to mention the attempts of replicating the console versions. Still, it's nice to hear songs from them, even though they're just locally short loop versions of them. That's not the worst part. There's only like a handful of songs and you're gonna hear it get low a lot. In the menus, in the pause menu, and occasionally in the races. Overall, it's alright. To be quite honest, I wish it was a GT Advanced clone instead. You did a good job, but I'd rather have smooth gameplay over heavy steering with a D-pad. Aw yeah, it's time for some NASCAR heat on the Game Boy Color. Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, girls! And boys! This board was made by Game Titan. Other than some Spite Kids game and GBA portraits Jazz, Jackrabbit, and Earthworm Jim, there isn't much info about them. So after a lengthy credit sequence for a Game Boy game, you get to make a save, choose one of the 10 cars, select the difficulty, game mode, and you have to play Micro Machines. It's a top-down racing game, a very simple one. The only can get slippery, the viewfinder is too close, you're always gonna have a pit stop at the second lap on a quick race. It has this pit crew thing where you have to do it manually for some reason. At least it leaks better than the NES version of Days of Thunder. And there's no sense of speed. Oh yeah, the game may tell that you're going 240 miles per hour, but it feels like 60 to me. There's only 11 tracks to choose from, and one of them not being an oval track, Watkins Glen. And even then it feels like it. Again, the view distance is really close. I mean, sure, it makes sense as it's played on a handheld console with a sub 200p resolution, but this is just laughable. Super Rusty Pro AM is much better when it comes to the view distance. They try and remedy this by putting arrows on the top left corner for incoming turns, even though the majority of the tracks are ovals, but it's helpful at least. Like the console counterpart, he has to beat the heat challenges, like do 9 laps without taking a pit stop. Easy yet tedious. For presentation, it's pretty jarring. The cars look like they're from an NES game, the skin of it feels soft compared to the track, the music is repetitive, and the sound is just aggravating. In short, this pretty much feels like a cash grab. Okay, I should be taking it lightly when it comes to Game Boy Color games, but there are much better racing games for it, including the OG Game Boy ones, so just avoid this one, unless you're into porting cash grabs that you want people to show. Well, that's enough handheld games for the moment. I'm off doing something really important. Oh, darling, reviewing games isn't that important. Huh. How the mighty have fallen. Suck my dick.